You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. Those double digits feel nice.
And you know, you said we're getting used to it.
Yeah.
Today it really felt that way, didn't it?
I did see someone out in shorts today.
You did?
Walking around in my neighborhood.
Not on campus.
Nope, no.
Yeah, we're turning the corner here. Things are going to get better as the days progress. Meteorologist Blaze Keller is here with the forecast, and he's out on the patio. The meteorologists haven't been outside for about 5 straight days. Hi, Blaze.
Hello. Yeah, those single digits definitely were cold, and now we're in the double digits in the 20s. Plenty of sunshine to go around. It is a gorgeous afternoon, you know, albeit slightly cooler than average, and we got that snow on the ground. But we're going to continue to sit underneath quiet conditions as we look to end your Thursday. Temperatures are ranging from about 19 in Viroqua and Mineral Point, as well as in Platteville, to about 24 in Madison, Watertown, 23 in Juneau, 26 in Middleton, Fond du Lac, as well as Sun Prairie coming in at 24 degrees, 22 in Perry. Plenty of clear skies out there thanks to a strong high pressure system that's going to continue to keep us quiet throughout the rest of this evening and overnight. Here's a look at your planner over the next 12 hours, taking us into that midnight hour, sitting underneath clear to mostly clear conditions. We'll dip to about the low single digits, and with a light northwesterly wind, morning wind chills could be anywhere between 0 to 10 degrees below zero, but obviously not as cold as where we have been over the last few nights and morning wind chills. So we are saying goodbye to the cold. We've got 40s in the forecast. We're going to track that out in just a few minutes.
Please, thank you. Well, starting today, you'll start seeing ads in favor of conservative Supreme Court Justice candidate Brad Schimmel. And
a group with ties to tech billionaire and presidential advisor Elon Musk paid for them. The group Building America's Future is spending $1.6 million on TV ads in the race for state Supreme Court Justice. The ads will run for 2 weeks in Wisconsin's 5 largest markets, which includes Madison. It comes after Musk posted on his social media platform X last month that Wisconsinites should vote for Schimmel.
Schimmel is a Waukesha County judge and a former Republican attorney general. He's going head-to-head against Susan Crawford, a Democratic-backed candidate. Crawford currently serves as a Dane County Circuit judge. She's received endorsements from Planned Parenthood advocates of Wisconsin and the state's AFL-CIO.
The ad airing today criticizes Crawford for her handling of a child sex assault case in 2018. Prosecutors wanted the perpetrator to get a 10-year sentence. Crawford gave him 4. When asked about the donation, Schimmel says there's nothing he can do to stop the money from coming in. The race is expected to be the most expensive in Wisconsin Supreme Court election history. Crawford received a large donation from Democratic philanthropist George Soros, among others. You'll find both candidates on your April 1st election ballot.
Well, the Milwaukee Bucks will be without Bobby Portis for a big chunk of the regular season. The NBA suspended Portis for 25 games today for violating its anti-drug program. The Bucks say Portis tested positive for tramadol, a painkiller. The player said he thought he had been using an NBA-approved drug for pain, but mistakenly took a banned substance. He will not be back on the court until early April. Portis released a statement saying, quote, "I feel horrible and recognize that I am responsible for what I put in my body. From the bottom of my heart, I want to apologize to the Bucks organization, my teammates, coaches, family, and friends."
Well, the family is out of their home after it caught on fire last week during a winter storm.
Now the family of 8 is looking for a place to stay. Our Tanisha Shaw spoke with the mom trying to pick up the pieces.
The Webbs are a family of 8. A daily, regular routine keeps everything afloat for them. That routine is now disrupted after their rental home caught on fire during a February snowstorm.
So how do I take some kids that has always been stable to a shelter?
Taisha Webb, her boyfriend, and their 6 children ages 18 to 9 are starting back from square one.
I had no clothing. Their dad, no clothing. No, my daughter, she went to school with Crocs on. You know, these kids, like, they don't like wearing shoes. So my daughter went to school with Crocs on. So when the snowstorm happened, she, you know, like her feet were wet.
If you were to drive by this home, you would barely see any damages from the outside. But family sent me photos that tell a different story.
We've been having electrical issues in this house. I don't think nobody was listening to me when I was telling them.
The fire started in the kitchen, Webb's oldest daughter was the only one home at the time. The Madison Fire Department estimated $30,000 worth of damages to the home. I reached out to the landlord of the property and they did not have a comment. The Madison Fire Department said the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanasia, thank you. Webb said the community has helped her throughout this process, and we have a link to the Webb family's GoFundMe on our website, channel3000.com.
A 44-year-old man from Portage is charged with 20 counts of being in possession of child sexual abuse material. Portage police allege Jonathan Schneitner downloaded a significant number of images and videos. He's currently at the Columbia County Jail on a $10,000 cash bond. Those conditions include no contact with children and no internet access through a computer. He's scheduled for a pretrial conference on March 17th.
Well, the Trump administration's new immigration policies are taking effect and hitting close to home for some members of southern Wisconsin's community. They're fearing they could be separated from their families.
Well, tonight on News 3 Now, Merrill Hubbard shows us how local officials are responding and what's being done to help people who are scared. She joins us now to give us a preview of her story. Hello, Merrill.
Hi, Merrill. Hi.
So Merrill, who did you talk to for this story?
Yeah, I talked to some local law enforcement to see how they're going to be handling federal immigration policies. Spoke with some attorneys who are reminding people of their rights under the United States Constitution. And then I also spoke with a woman who is an immigrant and also a U.S. citizen here, living here in Madison.
Why did she want to share her story?
Yeah, you know, I think first and foremost, you have to think about there is a lot of fear around this community. There's a lot of immigrants that are afraid to speak up out of fear of being deported or targeted. And, you know, it took kind of like having those preliminary conversations with this woman to make her comfortable feeling safe and sharing her story. And so she wanted to share it, and she wanted to share it anonymously.
Mm-hmm. And it's a sensitive story for a lot of people. And I know that we are hiding her identity in this story. You know, why was that important to her?
Yeah, you know, she is a United States citizen, but she has family and friends who are not citizens yet. So she wants to protect them, but also still share her story. And so I actually pulled a clip from an interview that I had with her just so she can share in her own words why she still wanted to share her experience.
A single interaction can have a profound impact on someone. And so anything I can do to make a person feel seen and heard, that also makes me feel better, right?
So she's not necessarily speaking for herself. She's paying it forward for other people who are feeling vulnerable right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And your full story airs tonight at 6?
Yes, so I'll have everything, you know, law enforcement officials, attorneys, and obviously this woman here, we're calling her Mary for the sake of her identity in this story.
It's a very important issue. We will see you tonight at 6, Merrill. Thank you.
Well, next on Live at 4, whether the Senate approved Kash Patel to be the FBI's next leader.
Plus, is it over for the penny? Ellie La Liberté gets local reaction to the potential loss. Welcome back. Kash Patel will be the next leader of the FBI in a 51-49 vote. All but 2 Republican senators chose to confirm the president's pick to lead the Bureau. Democrats have criticized Patel for his work during the president's first term, in which he sought to release documents to undercut the FBI's investigation into connections between Russia and the 2016 Trump campaign. Republicans argue Patel will bring transparency to the FBI.
Meanwhile, the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee voted 12-11 along party lines to advance Linda McMahon's nomination to be the Education Department Secretary. McMahon's nomination now goes to the Senate floor. This just days after a letter to schools that receive federal funds warned they could lose that money if they treat a person of one race differently than the other. The new policy aligns with the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling in 2023 that overturned affirmative action.
Well, you've probably heard the saying, find a penny, pick it up. But that coin could be on the chopping block.
Last week, President Trump said he told the Treasury Department to stop minting the 1-cent coin. Ellie La Liberté shows us what people in Wisconsin are saying.
President Trump says it does make sense to get rid of the coin. To make 1 cent, it costs nearly 4.
Pennies are the most popular coin made by U.S. Mint, making roughly $3.2 billion last year. But does Trump have the authority to get rid of the 1-cent coin? Well, it's unclear. However, Congress does have the power over currency specifications, including things like size and material. I went downtown today to hear what people have to say about the potential loss of the penny on both sides of the coin.
If they slowly fade out of existence, I don't think anybody's going to miss them.
Oh, I have lots of pennies, buckets of pennies, like big ice cream buckets full of pennies.
I just don't necessarily see an urgency to keep it in our currency.
I don't use it all that often, but I mean, we've grown up with the penny.
Although there is focus on the 1-cent coin right now, the nickel is actually more expensive to produce, costing nearly 14 cents to mint. Reporting in Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Ellie. And tonight at 5, here a Madison coin collector's 2 cents on the penny, what he says the change could mean for the hobby.
Republican Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky will not seek re-election. McConnell announced he's ending his decades-long career in politics this morning. The senator has been the longest-serving Senate party leader in U.S. history. For years, McConnell championed conservative causes, but has recently broken with his party over a few of President Trump's cabinet nominations. McConnell will wrap up his 7th term and leave office in early 2027 at 84 years old.
President Trump's national security advisor is refusing to say whether the president believes Ukraine or Russia is responsible for starting the war. Mike Waltz dodged that question at a press conference a day after the president falsely claimed that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is a dictator without elections. Earlier today, Zelensky met with Trump's Ukraine-Russia envoy to discuss ending the war. The Ukrainian president said the meeting was productive and that he is thankful for U.S. support.
Israelis are mourning after receiving the bodies of 4 people taken hostage on October 7th, including those of a mother and her 2 young children. In the first release of dead hostages since the October 7th attacks, Hamas gave 4 coffins to the Red Cross today, which contained the remains of 32-year-old Cherie Bibas, her 4-year-old son Ariel, and 9-month-old son Kafir, and an 83-year-old man named Oded Lifshitz. The militant group says it will release 6 living hostages on Saturday.
The trial of the disgraced former head of Spain's soccer federation is over, ending with a guilty verdict for sexual assault. After Spain won the 2023 Women's World Cup, Luis Rubiales kissed soccer player Jen Hermoso on the lips. Hermoso said the kiss was not consensual. Rubiales left his post and was taken to trial. Spain's high court ruled he is guilty of sexual assault. He now has to pay a more than $10,000 fine, though his lawyer says they will appeal.
And let's get another check of your first warn forecast. Blaze is back inside, but don't you want to be back outside on a day like today?
I will stay inside for now, but it is very nice outside considering we were in those single digits. We had very cold wind chills, extreme cold. Alerts were issued across southern Wisconsin, but we're saying goodbye to the cold as we look over the next 7 to 10 days. In fact, we may tap into those mid to low 40s as soon as Sunday and staying there through at least Wednesday of next week. It's all thanks to the same high pressure system that actually cooled us down with those single digits. It's a strong high pressure system. It's sitting off to our west, and throughout the overnight hours and throughout Friday, it's going to be slowly sliding off towards the east. During the wintertime, high pressure systems are just that much stronger. They're really fueled by the cold air. So that's the reason why we're likely going to see clear skies into your Friday, because high pressure systems, they have a lot of sinking air, which really limits the amount of cloud cover we see. As that high pressure system slides off towards the southeast, southwesterly winds take on over. We see the cloud cover return, as well as some warmer temperatures. So we'll go from about 10 degrees below normal to 5 degrees below normal Friday and Saturday for high temperatures, to about 5 to 10 degrees above normal starting Sunday through Wednesday of next week. Southwesterly winds take over, and when you have that southwesterly wind versus a south or even southeasterly wind, you just get that extra push of warmer air. And over the next 6 to 10 days, it does look like there's more confidence for warmer than normal temperatures off to our west, but we may still tap into that. However, we are still in winter, and it does look like perhaps we'll go back to being cooler than normal towards the end of February through the start of March. But for the month so far, from the start through yesterday's date, a lot of February has been cooler than average. This is a look at our daytime high, our overnight low, that number, and then we compare it to normal. And when we've been sitting underneath those single digits, we were anywhere between 20 to 25 degrees below normal for that day. So for the month so far, we're about 3.5 degrees below normal with an average temperature of just shy of 18 degrees. We'll see what these warmer than normal temperatures have in store for our average temperature, but that just goes to show you that even though we started off with some 40s and 30s, those single digits really did cool us down there. And at least we're not going to be seeing them for quite some time. 20s tomorrow, a little bit cooler than normal by about 10 degrees, but we are back into those upper 30s to low 40s by Sunday. A possible rain-snow mix later Monday through Tuesday into Wednesday, but that still shouldn't mean our temperatures will be too cold. But it does look like by that following weekend we may slip back into those 20s after hanging out in the 30s and 40s throughout next week.
All right, Blaze, thank you. We're celebrating Black History Month here on News 3.
Black hairstyles reflect Black culture. As our Kyrian Lee explains, hair braiding is a tradition passed down for generations.
At News 3 now, we are continuing to celebrate Black History Month. African-American hairstyles are a powerful expression of self-empowerment, pride, and cultural heritage. Hair braiding is one of those styles deeply rooted in the culture. Joining me now is Tempest Golden, Assistant Campus Director at Tricoshi University of Beauty Culture. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And all the beautiful ladies along with you, all the models here. So first and foremost, what is some of the history behind hair braiding?
So hair braiding kind of originated from different ways for slaves to become free, so they would braid different maps in it. Some were identified from the tribes that they lived in, marital status, so it was different ways to identify themselves as well.
And so why is it so important, especially as, you know, Black men and women and even, you know, little boys and girls to embrace our crown?
I believe if you know where you've come from, it'll help you be able to better your future, to understand what enslavement was, so that way we can be empowered and know that what we're doing makes a difference.
And so at the school, are you all teaching ethnic hairstyling?
We are. We actually just changed our curriculum to be able to service to it. So we do teach ethnic styling, braiding, sewing. We just changed our menu to cater to ethnic styling. At first it was just styling, but now we have incorporated braiding, twisting, sew-ins as well.
So why is it so important to be able to, you know how to do a variety of different hair?
Because you don't want to limit yourself. I believe learning hair is important, but it's also learning texture of hair. So it doesn't matter the color of your skin, it's the texture. So I think this is really good for all of us to feel included. Not like we're singling out one race, but it is the texture of hair.
Could you kind of explain some of the hairstyles our models are rocking today?
Yes, so this is what we would call singles, individual braids, more of the smaller side. If you just want something for the weekend, you can braid it on the top, let it be down, curly. And then this is what we call our knotless braids. This is perfect for anyone that is more tender-headed or their scalp is super sensitive. You can braid it the same day, put it up, be versatile with it.
Well, we want to thank all of you lovely ladies for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And we will have more details on our website, channel3000.com.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Yeah, it's wonderful to hear about the skill and the tradition passed down through the generations.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, still ahead on Live at 4, we are inching closer to the weekend.
We're almost there, and the weather is going to be more mild. Josh Spreiter joins us next with 3 things you and your family can do this weekend in the 608.
It's Friday Eve or Thursday afternoon, whatever, which means we are working for the weekend in the 608.
We always get very excited about that. Josh Spreiter has your weekend planner.
I have 3 things for you to do this weekend in the 608 with your family. If you're not a fan of winter, I know this brutally cold week has been a long one for some folks. Here's a sure sign spring is on the way. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo kicks off Friday, running through the weekend at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Show hours on Friday are 1 to 8, Saturday 9 to 7, and Sunday 9 to 4. Admission is $12 for adults, and kids 12 and under are free. The Wisconsin Fishing Expo is among the largest fishing consumer shows in the Midwest. If you're still thinking winter, head to Paoli on Saturday or Sunday afternoons to get festive and frolic at 7 Acre Dairy's first winter carnival. Tickets for adults are $10. It's $7 for kids, and those 3 and under are free. This ticket includes a live music event, a petting zoo, outdoor activities, polar dips, sauna, and a hot cocoa bar. There will also be things to purchase to support businesses. A portion of proceeds will be benefiting Belleville EMS, who will be on site hanging out with families and talking about their important work. And finally happening Saturday afternoon from noon to 4, snack your way through downtown Sunny P. They're back for another delicious year of celebrating 2 favorites, chocolate and cheese. Enjoy samples of sweet and savory treats served at various downtown Sun Prairie businesses. Organizers say it's a great way to explore and support the community. Those tickets are limited, so get yours before they're gone. They run $20. For more ideas this weekend in the 608, just go to channel3000.com. In the 608, I'm Josh Breiter for Live at 4.
Thank you, Josh. Those are all great ideas.
Yeah, a chocolate and cheese walk. That's genius.
Sign us up. Coming up on Live at 4, our political reporter Will Keneally sits down with the UW's president to talk about the effects of funding uncertainty.
Plus, what Meritor's nurses are asking for from the hospital in their ongoing negotiations.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
You know, for all the complaining we do sometimes about temperatures in winter, this is what it's all about. Yeah. Getting out and enjoy it. Ice skating, skiing. Oh, look at that. That's so sweet.
A little ice skating lesson there. That's very nice.
And it's all taking place at Elver Park. And the weather words are the slow climb continues, and it might even be mild enough to get out and enjoy that snow blaze.
That's right. I mean, we're definitely not in those single digits anymore. Obviously, continue to dress as though we are, but, you know, we had the cold, so we got the ice on the lake, so folks could do some ice skating, some ice fishing. We got the snow, so you could do some skiing, some snowmobiling, and now we're beginning to warm on up out of those single digits. Temperatures are in the 20s for the most part, 19 in Platteville, as well as in Mineral Point, 24 Madison, 26 out there in Milwaukee, into Dane County, 25 in Verona, Middleton, and Waunakee, 23 in Stoughton. High pressure continues to keep the sunshine around. The lack of cloud cover really made for a beautiful Thursday, and it's going to be a clear night as well because of that same high pressure system. This is the one that brought down the cold, but it's also the one that's going to bring back the warmth as we go into the end of the weekend and through the first half of next week. We'll settle into the single digits tonight underneath those clear conditions. As I mentioned, we're going to track the cold, or the return of the heat rather, and then time out any maybe wintry mix chances in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Developing right now, the Dane County Sheriff's Office and the Wisconsin Department of Justice are investigating a deadly fire. The Sheriff's Office says a fire in the town of Springfield killed 1 person yesterday. Their officers and several other agencies responded to a home on Meffert Road at about 10:15 Wednesday night. After several hours of searching what's left of the home today, officials found a body. The medical examiner's office will release the person's name once their family is notified.
A federal judge is clearing the way for the Trump administration to carry out mass firings of federal workers, and the agency is expected to do that next. The Internal Revenue Service. 6,000 employees there could lose their jobs today. It's not all victory for the administration, though. A judge has left a temporary pause on its funding freeze in place so she can have more time to make a decision.
And the uncertainty in Washington is impacting how local leaders here in Wisconsin are putting together their future plans.
Political reporter Will Keneally sat down with the Universities of Wisconsin President Jay Rothman for more.
We're in the middle of a budget season for all the state agencies, including the Universities of Wisconsin. Now, UW's System President Jay Rothman has already put in his budget request to the governor's office and state lawmakers, but he expressed consternation at the lack of clarity coming from Washington and how that might impact Wisconsin students and faculty.
And I'm worried about two things as it relates to our universities. One is student financial aid, which the federal government, both through student loans and grants, is important. And then secondly, research dollars, particularly important to UW-Madison.
But he added that those research dollars also help other campuses beyond just Madison. This is part of a wide-ranging discussion that we had with Rothman, and you can see more from our interview coming up this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record.
Thank you, Will. Nurses at Unity Point Meritor Hospital say now more than ever, it's important for hospital leadership to take their concerns about safety and security into account.
They say without their input, patient care is being affected. Arman Rahman has more.
Nurses at Meritor Hospital are about halfway through their new contract negotiations. They say they want to elevate issues around safety and security, not just for their patients in the hospital, but also for themselves. They were joined by nurses from UW Health and Group Health Cooperative to call attention to the rising safety and security concerns they say nurses at Meritor and across the country deal with on a daily basis.
Over the years, my colleagues and I have been bitten, kicked, choked, and hit at work.
By listening to nurses and implementing common sense security practices like metal detectors and improved emergency protocols.
Nurses and union reps say negotiations with hospital leadership are going well. Meritor released a statement that reads in part, "Our internationally recognized safety and security team utilizes enhanced security measures including individual patient safety plans, visitor agreements, training, and continually reassesses our readiness." But it's not just security improvements that nurses say is needed to keep them and their patients safe. I'll have more on what staffing issues they'd like to see improved later on tonight. For now, reporting in Madison, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Arman. Last September, Unity Point Meritor Hospital did go into lockdown after a suspect made a threat to the hospital over the phone. That suspect was arrested the same day and the lockdown was lifted.
Stocks ended on the negative on this Thursday afternoon. The Dow lost 451 points at the close. The NASDAQ was down 94. The S&P 500 was down 26.
Metro transit services were disrupted today. The city is blaming an extreme number of driver absences. News 3 Now has contacted Metro for more information, but we have not heard back yet.
Today, the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce is hosting the 2025 Black Business Awards. Leaders and community members gathered at Monona Terrace. They'll gather at 5 o'clock tonight to celebrate the impact Black-owned businesses in real estate, construction, landscaping, and more have made on the community. 11 business leaders will receive awards for their contributions. Adonica Randall, president of a tech solutions firm and champion of minority entrepreneurship, will deliver the keynote address.
And a reminder, the Spirit of Service campaign is well underway as we look to honor our local veterans making a positive impact in the community.
News 3 Now is partnering with Vortex in giving back to veterans. All you have to do is log on to channel3000.com and nominate a veteran in your life doing something good. Over the coming weeks, we'll be sharing their stories and you'll get to vote and choose which veteran gets to take home a $5,000 cash prize. A winner will be announced in early April. Well, still to come on Live at 4, some great recipes for a cold winter's day.
Or a special date night. Angie Horkin has some that will work for both when Live at 4 continues. We were looking at the bright side of winter, and really there's nothing better on these cold nights than a nice hearty meal.
That's true. Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council stopped by earlier this week with some new recipes. You have 2 new recipes to share today, and they smell heavenly, don't they? What are you making?
Okay, so these are kind of warm, feel-goody, make the kitchen smell amazing for this weather we're having.
Yes.
So I've got a filet recipe. So it's still February, the month of love. Let's talk filet, okay? Super easy. I actually bought a whole 2-pound filet roast. Select, actually, not a choice, so it's a little more economical. And I sliced my own little fillets. I have a 2-pound big roast. You can get at least 8 fillets.
Nice.
And then, you know, use half, save it, do a couple recipes. But then I just did them in a cast iron pan with a little salt and pepper, and then did some lentils, but you know, do whatever kind of side dishes you like. And then it has a sauce to go with it. It's called a herb butter mushroom sauce, and it's actually got a mix of wild mushrooms in here, some beef stock, some garlic, of course. Started with butter, a little bit of fresh thyme, some shallots, and then a little cornstarch water mixture at the end.
And what does that do?
To thicken it up, and then so I did that. My fillets in the same pan, so I used kind of this nice flat wooden spatula to get my browned bits of my beef up.
Now, what is your
from that.
secret for doing fillets? Because it's an expensive cut of meat. How many minutes on a side do you do?
That's the secret, Susan. You don't want to overcook it. Now, these fillets here are about 1 inch thick. I did about 3 minutes a side, and then if you have a nice, easy, like a little instant read meat thermometer, insert that from the side. And then these need to rest too, so you want to cook these to 135. Don't cook them to 145 if you like that nice pink medium rare. Take them out at 135. Tent them, you're going to let them rest while you make the beautiful mushroom sauce, and then that temperature will rise.
How long do they need to rest?
I would say at least 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this sauce will take about that long after you kind of cook down your mushrooms and then you cook down your beef stock and then thicken it. It'll take about 10 minutes.
It's a beautiful sauce.
Full recipe, 35 minutes.
Perfect. And this one, though, this one you want to do on a Sunday when you're at home.
It's a perfect Sunday recipe.
Beef bourguignon. And now, can you do your Julia Child impression? Okay, well, I tried.
No.
Beef bourguignon.
Very good. I know. Well done. We've been talking about this. It's awesome for winter. I love it. It makes the house smell so good. Burgundy wine's the base. You know, if you don't want to go out and buy a special Burgundy, a Pinot Noir works good. I usually have that on hand.
Yeah.
So, but I started with 2 pounds of stew meat. The recipe on our website calls for like a shoulder roast, arm roast. Any of those roasts that you would put in the slow cooker are perfect for this recipe because it's a couple hours to cook. So, but I just started with stew meat. It's already chunked up in the supermarket. I did it, I think I used over 2 pounds of stew meat. I did it right in this stock pot, and I browned my beef in 3 batches. You don't want to crowd your beef. Get it nice and hot with some oil. Get your oil nice and hot. Put your beef in. Give them plenty of space because you really want to get them browned.
Yeah.
And that helps to keep locking the juices because you're going to cook this a couple hours.
And this is pearl onions and carrots.
Yep, and there's some bacon. I started with 4 strips of bacon.
Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, you render the fat out, you remove the bacon, do the meat in there, and then add the bacon back?
Yeah, add the bacon back, and then add in your Burgundy wine, some beef stock, salt, pepper, tomato paste. I got a little parsley for the top. I did that, so I did the liquid with the meats an hour, and then I added in, I just cut some baby carrots in half, some frozen pearl onions because I couldn't find fresh, and then another half hour, another hour till your vegetables are tender and your meat's tender, and then top with some fresh parsley. Serve with some crusty bread and a glass of Burgundy. And
very comforting meal.
Very comforting. Yes. So beeftips.com is Wisconsin Beef Council website. Click on As Seen on TV right on the homepage, and you'll find these recipes plus a lot of more perfect winter Wisconsin recipes.
Oh, that's great. That's what we need.
The best part of this cold weather.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Angie.
You're welcome.
So you've made the beef bourguignon before.
I have. A lot of steps, but it's worth it. And my trick is, you can put it in the oven at a very low heat, and it kind of braises everything, and you don't really have to fuss with it.
And it's one of those dishes that cooks all day, and you can smell it. Oh, it sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, we'll check back in with Blaze for your first warn forecast.
Plus, Times Women of the Year, who the magazine picked when Live at 4 returns. On the next Live at 4, Will Loper takes a look at what's new to streaming this weekend.
And Madison's first Black Poet Laureate shares her work with News 3 Now's Michelle Renee Quinn.
Well, this is a live look at the Vatican. It's 51 degrees there, and of course, everyone is keeping an eye on Pope Francis's health. The Vatican today said that his health is improving slightly. So a lot of people are watching what goes on there.
And that's good news. Yeah. Let's get a look now at the forecast. Speaking of good news, temperatures are on a slow climb upwards, Blaze.
That's right. We are saying goodbye to that single-digit cold and those very cold wind chills starting really Sunday through at least Wednesday of next week. Upper 30s to possibly the low to mid 40s. But also over the next 7 to 10 days, we got a few chances for a mainly light wintry mix. So let's take a look at what we can expect. Starting with the bigger picture, which is a high pressure system is overhead. This is the same high that brought down the cold out of Canada and then pulled that down out of the Arctic. High pressure systems really like cold weather, so it's going to keep us quiet, not only overnight, but into your Friday as well. As it slides off towards the southeast, southwesterly winds take on over. And those southwesterly winds are what's going to help us warm up as we go not only into your Sunday, but stay warm into your Monday, your Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. So take a look at our forecast high temperatures compared to normal. Starting Sunday through at least Wednesday, anywhere between just a few to almost 10 degrees warmer than our normal high temperature, but also keep in mind we're past the point of the coldest point of the year for the Madison area and for a lot of southern Wisconsin. So every day to maybe every 2 to 3 days, our average high temperature starts to climb as we get out of winter and get closer to summer. So, warmer than average, cooler than average is kind of going with that climbing high temperature and overnight lows. But here's a look at our forecast highs, upper 30s to low to mid 40s Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So we'll do a little bit of melting, and then possibly by the end of our extended forecast, that's when we could see the return of that cooler air. Now, I mentioned there's a couple chances for a light wintry mix, mainly looking at Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. A couple clippers want to move through the Midwest, really living up to their name, just clipping the Midwest, moving in and out within a day. Because our temperatures are going to be in those upper 30s, if not the low 40s, it's going to be more of that rain-snow mix, possibly just rain. So we'll just take it day by day, but as of now, nearly 60% of the United States is covered in snow. That includes, obviously, the entire state of Wisconsin, with snow reaching as far south as Texas, northern parts of Louisiana, and into the deep south. So we have a decent amount of snow across the United States, and some of those southern states were able to get that snow because of the cold that was brought down by that high pressure system that's currently overhead. But when we look at our snow year from September through our upcoming May, we're lacking, especially there in December and January. We didn't even get 2 inches of snow throughout the month of January, and we normally pick up 14 inches of snow. So we got a lot of ground to make up, and we'll just take it day by day, system by system, but no major snow on the horizon. Upper teens to mid-20s tomorrow underneath plenty of sunshine and that 7 and 10 day forecast. 30s and 40s really starting Saturday through at least Wednesday of next week. And Monday through Wednesday we could see again that chance for a light wintry mix.
Well, what do movie stars, athletes, and activists have in common?
They are among those on the list for Time's Women of the Year. Time revealed the list today. Women on this year's cover include actress Nicole Kidman, basketball player Asia Wilson, and Olympic gymnast Jordan Childs. Time editorial director Lucy Feldman writes, the 13 women on this year's list are all in their own way working toward creating a better, more equitable world. This year we honor women who have identified a problem and vowed to be part of the solution. The women will be celebrated at a Women of the Year gala on Tuesday.
Look forward to reading some of their stories.
Yeah, all three of those. Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Blaze, any thoughts?
Weather? Well, do we have time for weather?
I think we have a few seconds.
Okay. We are looking at quiet conditions tonight and Friday, ending the work week in the double digits. Plenty of sunshine, a bit breezy on Saturday because we got to move up the 40s in time for Monday, where we'll stay through at least Wednesday of next week. Keeping the chance for a rain-snow mix low, at least for now, Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on it. Stay with News 3 Now. We'll keep you updated. But it does look like we'll slip back into those low 30s and possibly the 20s by the end of that following weekend.
This is the weekend to go skiing.
Exactly.
Before it disappears.
Yes.
Thanks, Blaze. We'll be right back. Tomorrow on Live at 4, Madison's first Black Poet Laureate shares her work with our Michelle Renee Quinn. And later on News 3 Now at 6, Merrill Hubbard shows us how the Trump administration's actions on immigration is affecting members of our local community. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today, everybody. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.